Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Just hold it just for a second. Hare Krishna. So, continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 18th chapter, Maharaj Parikshit, coached by a Brahman boy, text number 44 onwards. Tadadyana papamupati ananvyam yannashtanathasya vasor vilumpikat parasparam gananti shapanti vranjate vashun striyorthan purudasya vo janaha. So Shamik Rishi is speaking to his son, Shringi. Due to the termination of the monarchical regimes and the plundering of the people's wealth by rogues and thieves, there will be great social disruptions. People will be killed and injured, and animals and women will be stolen. And for all these things, we shall be responsible. The word na, we, is very significant in this verse. The sage rightly takes the responsibility of the Brahmins as a community for killing monarchical government, and thus giving an opportunity to the so-called democrats, who are generally plunderers of the wealth of the state subjects. The so-called democrats capture the administrative machine without assuming responsibility for the prosperous condition of the citizens. Everyone captures the post for personal gratification, and thus, instead of one king, a number of irresponsible kings grow up to tax the citizens. It is foretold herein that in the absence of good monarchical government, everyone will be the cause of disturbance for others by plundering riches, animals, women, etc. So this was written, can you imagine, 5,000 years ago? And it has been, Bhagavatam has been in effect since the time of creation. So 5,000 years ago it was written, the so-called democratic government, it will not be good. In fact, I just posted a quotation from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then Gaur Govind Maharaj had explained it, that the so-called democracy, how does it work? And like there was a king who ordered that a pond be dug in the village, and then he ordered everybody, you should all bring a pot of milk to put in the pond, to fill up the pond with milk. So one villager thought, well, if I take a pot of water and everybody else is bringing pot of milk, who will notice? So it doesn't matter, I'll just take a pot of water. So he took the pot of water. And actually it so happened, and everybody thought that if they bring a pot of water, who will notice? So in fact, every villager brought the pot of water. And the pond was filled with water, not with milk. So this is what Gaur Govind Maharaj is saying. This is democracy, where when everybody's vote counts. So everybody thinks my vote counts, so I'll vote for this person. What difference does it make if I vote for this person and everybody else is voting for somebody else, and everybody else votes for the wrong person, and he gets elected, and then he's not the qualified one. So this is monarchical government should be there, according to Bhagavatam, to lead the people properly. But the monarch has to be spiritual person. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says they were Raja Rishis. Evam parampara paraptam imara Raja Rishayo viduhu. So Raj Rishi means king who was like a rishi, like a sage, who knew the scriptures, who knew the code of conduct according to the scriptures, and who would rule according to the scriptures. And he would rule for the welfare of public, not just public, everybody born in that kingdom, Praja. So that's the right king, that's the right government. But like Prabhupada is saying, the so-called Democrats capture the administrative machines without assuming responsibility because they are there for maybe 5 years, 10 years. And then once they get elected, they just want to make their grow their bank balance because they know after 5, 10 years they might not come back ever again in power. Everyone captures the post for personal gratification, and thus, instead of one king, a number of irresponsible kings grow up to tax the citizens. So this is what is going on, and they just want to tax the citizens, make money, make property, and they don't care for anything else. And this is what Shamik Rishi is saying, that this we have to take the responsibility. It means as the Brahmins, we have to take the responsibility because we are cursing the monarch king to die. Text 45. Tadarya dharma praviliyate nrinam varnashram charyutas tato artha kamabhi niveshitatmanam shrunam kapinam varna sankaraha. At that time, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagements of the caste and the orders of society and the Vedic injunctions. Thus, they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification. And as a result, there will be unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. So at that time, when the monarchical regime won't be there and the people will be plundered, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of progressive civilization in respect to Varnashram Dharma. It is foretold herein that in the absence of a monarchical regime, the general mass of people will be an unwanted population like dogs and monkeys. So, what's the quality of dogs and monkeys? As the monkeys are too sexually inclined and dogs are shameless in sexual intercourse, the general mass of population born of illegitimate connection will systematically go astray from the Vedic way of good manners and qualitative engagements in the castes and orders of life. The Vedic way of life is a progressive march of the civilization of the Aryans. The Aryans are progressive in Vedic civilization. The Vedic civilization's destination is to go back to Godhead, back home, where there is no birth, no death, no old age, and no disease. The Vedas direct everyone not to remain in the darkness of the material world, but to go towards the light of the spiritual kingdom far beyond the material sky. The qualitative caste system and the orders of life are scientifically planned by the Lord and his representatives, the great rishis. The perfect way of life gives all sorts of instruction in things, both material and spiritual. The Vedic way of life does not allow any man to be like the monkeys and dogs. A degraded civilization of sense gratification and economic development is a byproduct of a godless or kingless government of the people, by the people, and for the people. People should not therefore begrudge the poor administrations they themselves elect. Wow. So for democracy, Prabhupada called it, it's not democracy, it's demon-crazy. Because some demons get together and they elect another demon and then they cry, well, why did we elect this person? So this is what is going on. I mean, Bhagavatam foretold it. Of course, when we get to 12th canto of Bhagavatam, or whenever we get to 12th canto of Bhagavatam, and we read the symptoms of Kali Yuga mentioned in Bhagavatam, they really, we really our hairs stand erect. What is this going to happen in Kali Yuga? And it's coming true slowly, slowly. And it's just the beginning of Kali Yuga we are in. So if there is no proper direction or proper protection given by the government for the Vedic system of life, the whole civilization is on the path of destruction, nothing else. The whole civilization. And this is what is happening. Like, not in India right now, but here in America, they distribute condoms freely in the high schools. In the schools, they are distributing freely because they know kids will engage in this kind of acts. They cannot stop. In India also, they're engaging, but at least they're not openly accepting it. That's all. Because of the influence of whatever we can call it, influence of Facebook, internet, TV, WhatsApp, or too much access to information. But at the same time, problem is no access to the positive news, no access to or um, no recommendation or push towards spiritual life. Mind will definitely go towards a lower taste if higher taste is not given. It has to go towards a lower taste. Even if the higher taste is given, even if we take people to chanting and the spiritual path or very nice things, mind plays tricky games. Mind will go towards the lower taste. So that is why our daily sadhana, daily reading, daily service is recommended, so that even if we don't go up, at least we stay at wherever we are. Because if we don't stay at wherever we are, we'll definitely go down. Mind will be pulled down by the material modes of nature. It will be. So what to speak of those people, or especially the kids, who have no inclination towards spirituality? How difficult it is to stop them from going down. At least in earlier days, or when we were studying in school or college, there was so much of workload, so much of study, so much of pressure. Couldn't think of anything else. But I am hearing that nowadays even that is not there. I mean, that much is, it's not there. It's there, but it's not to the same extent as we had. So it's very difficult, not just for the kids, for anybody in general. It's very, very, very difficult. Openness, so-called openness, is very good to mix, to be freely able to communicate with each other. It's good. At the same time, it has its own demerits. So it's very, very important to engage ourselves, our near and dear ones, our loved ones, in the spiritual practices. And in especially the way Srila Prabhupada has designed ISKCON, they're practically festivals. If not every day, at least once or twice a week, there is some festival. Something or else is going on. So we can be engaged in these active spiritual activities, and that will take the mind away from the lower activity. But still, even if we are engaged fully, still Maya is very strong and the mind is strong. Of course, the soul is supposed to be more strong than mind, but many times mind takes over. So it will still go towards a lower taste. It will not just go, it will run towards a lower taste. So we have to try to be steady on this path. We have to be trying to, okay, even if it goes towards the lotus, bring it back, come back, start again, start. I mean, get up, start running again. So that is the right way of approach. But the Kali Yuga, it is bound to happen. These things are bound to happen. So these are the symptoms. So if the symptoms are there, we just take precaution. That's all. Text 46. Dharmpalo narpati satu samrang brihatshrava sakshan maham bhagavato rajarsh hayamedhya trit shram yito achapam arhati. The Emperor Parikshit is a pious king. He is highly celebrated and is a first-class devotee of the personality of Godhead. He is a saint amongst royalty and he has performed many horse sacrifices. When such a king is tired and fatigued, being stricken with hunger and thirst, he does not at all deserve to be cursed. So this is the experience and the tolerance and patience of Shamit Rishi speaking. After explaining the general codes relating to the royal position and asserting that the king can do no wrong and therefore is never to be condemned, the sage Samik wanted to say something about Emperor Parikshit specifically. The specific qualification of Maharaj Parikshit is summarized herein. The king, even calculated as a king only, was most celebrated as a ruler who administered the religious principles of the royal order. In the Shastras, the duties of all castes and orders of society are prescribed. All the qualities of Kshatriya mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 1843 were present in the person of the emperor. He was also a great devotee of the Lord and a self-realized soul. Cursing such a king when he was tired and fatigued with hunger and thirst was not at all proper. Shamik Rishi thus admitted from all sides that Maharaj Parikshit was cursed most unjustly. Although all the Brahmins were aloof from the incident, still for the childish action of a Brahmin boy, the whole world situation was changed. Thus Rishi Shamik, a Brahmin, took responsibility for all deterioration of the good orders of the world. So Shamik Rishi is openly saying, although he was the one who was insulted by this dead snake around his neck, but he was saying that Maharaj Parikshit had no fault whatsoever. There was nothing wrong on his part. He was hungry, he was thirsty, he was tired, and I should have served him. I should have taken care of him. That is real humility and tolerance and patience. And then moreover, he is saying, Shamik Rishi is saying that he should not have been cursed. There's no justification for that. Apapeshu svabhrityeshu balena pakva buddhina papam kritam tad bhagwan sarvatma kshantum arhati. Thus the rishi prayed to the all-pervading personality of Godhead to pardon his immature boy, who had no intelligence and who committed the great sin of cursing a person who was completely free from all sins, who was subordinate and who deserved to be protected. See, another thing we see here, even Shamik Rishi knew the power of his son Shringi. He could not reverse the curse. And he knew this curse would come true because Shringi is a powerful Brahmin. That's why he is asking for forgiveness from the Supreme Lord for his boy. This boy is inexperienced, he didn't know. Everyone is responsible for his own action, either pious or sinful. Rishi Shamik could foresee that his son had committed a great sin by cursing Maharaj Parikshit, who deserved to be protected by the Brahmins, for he was a pious ruler and completely free from all sins because of being a first-class devotee of the Lord. When an offense is done unto the devotee of the Lord, it's very difficult to overcome the reaction. The Brahmins, being at the head of the social orders, are meant to give protection to the subordinates and not to curse them. See here, Shamik Rishi is saying they're supposed to give protection to their subordinate, protection to all the lower orders and caste. And there, when Rishi Shringi was angry, if you remember, he was saying that these Kshatriya, they're supposed to be stay outside our doors. They're not supposed to go inside and ask for anything. They're like our dogs who should not go inside. The way he was speaking, that was his immaturity. There are occasions when a Brahman may furiously curse a subordinate Kshatriya or a Vaishya, etc. But in the case of Maharaj Parikshit, there were no grounds, as already explained. The foolish boy had done it out of sheer vanity in being a Brahman's son, and thus he became liable to be punished by the law of God. The Lord never forgives a person who condemns his pure devotee. Therefore, by cursing a king, the foolish Shringi had committed not only a sin, but also the greatest offense. Therefore, the Rishi could foresee that only the Supreme Personality of Godhead could save this boy from his sinful act. He therefore directly prayed for pardon from the Supreme Lord, who alone can undo a thing which is impossible to change. The appeal was made in the name of a foolish boy who had developed no intelligence at all. A question may be raised herein that since it was the desire of the Lord that Parikshit Maharaj be put into that awkward position so that he might be delivered from material existence, then why was a Brahman's son made responsible for this offensive act? The answer is that the offensive act was performed by a child only so that he could be excused very easily, and thus the prayer of the father was accepted. But if the question is raised, why the Brahman community as a whole was made responsible for allowing Kali into the worldly affairs, answer is given in the Varaha Puran that the demons who acted, for all the so-called Brahmins in our community or in the world. This sentence is very important. The answer is given in the Varaha Puran that the demons who acted inimically towards the personality of Godhead, but were not killed by the Lord, were allowed to take birth in the families of the Brahmins to take advantage of the age of Kali. So of course, I'm not against any Brahman community or Brahman caste, but this is in Varaha Puran. So all the Sharmas and Upadhyayas and whatever Brahman castes are there. This is scriptures talking. I'm not saying anything.
Probably I'm scared.
The all merciful Lord gave them a chance to have their birth in the families of pious Brahmins so that they could progress towards salvation. But the demons, instead of utilizing the good opportunity, misused the Brahminical culture due to being puffed up by vanity in becoming Brahmins. The typical example is the son of Shamik Rishi. And all the foolish sons of Brahmins are warned hereby not to become as foolish as Shringi and be always on guard against the demonic qualities which they had in their previous births. The foolish boy was, of course, excused by the Lord, but others who may not have a father like Shamik Rishi will be put into great difficulty if they misuse the advantages obtained by birth in a Brahman family. Of course, Brahman family, we know it's not just by name, it's by the guna and karma. But if somebody is born, one should not misuse that advantage. In fact, one should not misuse the advantage of being born in any, even if a Kshatriya family, one should not misuse that. But this is what, once we read more about Kali Yuga, everything is topsy-turvy. There's nothing straightforward here in Kali Yuga. Only advantage The only advantage mentioned in 11th canto of Bhagavatam is just by chanting of names of Hari, one can attain Krishna Prema, Golok Prema. That was not even possible in other ages. In fact, Jiva Goswami, in one of his writings, he has said that other ages also Hare Krishna Mahamantra was there, or other mantras were there. Why people would not get the same result? So answer he himself gives is, just like in Satyuga, the people would go for meditation, for tapasya. It was easy for them to do tapasya for 40, 50, 60,000 years because they would live for 100,000 years. So the chanting was there, but they wouldn't have faith. Oh, they would say, oh, just by moving the lips, one can attain Krishna Prem. It's not possible. We can do it only, not even do it. We can get liberation by meditation for 40, 50,000 years. They just won't understand the potency of chanting. If we look at the example of Dhruv Maharaj, little boy, 5-year-old boy, he was given instructions by Narad Muni. He went to Mathura, near Yamuna Ji. That's where there's a place called Dhruv Ghat. That's where he did his tapasya. But he did his tapasya, but he chanted this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That was a mantra for Satyuga. And he got darshan of Krishna or Vishnu in 6 months only. He didn't have to do tapasya for 50,000 years. 6 months. Because he had full faith in chanting and in the words of his guru, Narad Muni. So chanting was always there, always potent, but no faith. Treta Yuga, they had more faith in doing big yagyas. Dwapar Yuga, they had more faith in making elaborate deity worship. But Kali Yuga, look at all the symptoms of Kali Yuga. We can't do tapasya, we cannot do yagyas, we cannot do elaborate deity worship. The only thing left for us to do is chant. And Kali Yuga, everybody is disturbed. We have very short lives. Health is a problem. Mental control is a problem. And Kali Yuga is a time for quarrel and hypocrisy. Hypocrisy anyway. The moment we step out of the house or even in the house, there could be fight at the drop of a hat, like they say. For little things. So that's why when people are so disturbed, they cannot do anything else except the chanting, because this is only thing that we can have some faith in and we can perform properly. And when we are more disturbed, and if we have some faith in chanting, when we chant, the chanting comes out. Then we can have we can at least surrender unto the holy name, because that's the only way out for us at that situation. So that's why Kali Yuga is considered one of the best stages for attaining Krishna Prema. So we'll read further tomorrow. Anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you said right about Brahmanas, because in my office also people are saying nowadays if a person is doing all the wrong deeds, he would be Sharma or any Brahman. And Prabhuji, one question is, Prabhuji, does being rich or materially successful gives you an added advantage in meeting the saintly personalities? I mean, the bhakti path is irrespective of that rich and poor, but initially, is it gives an advantage?
It can go either way. See, if we have materially, if somebody is prosperous, so there are chances that he won't want to go and meet any saintly person. He would say, "Why would I want to meet him? I have everything." But when he becomes frustrated because even the money cannot give happiness, then he goes and takes shelter. Then it is okay, and it gives advantage because then he doesn't have to work so hard to make ends meet or to provide two square meals. So that part is taken care of. So he could have some more free time and he can spend more time in spiritual activity. So it can go either way.
Okay. Because Prabhuji, in various spiritual leaders, I see that rich or influential or powerful people, they get connect with them very easily, and they get more time with them. So,
Again, see, if the spiritual person is genuine, he might be giving them more time to engage them and their money or their connections in service of Krishna, if the person is genuine. If it is not, then he might be just exploiting them. So even if I get more time with a spiritual person, if my heart is not inclined to get benefit of that association, then what's the point?
Prabhuji, I'm not criticizing. I know that they help with donation, and but Prabhuji, as a conclusive, is it good that we work on both the fronts, like on material front and spiritual front, so that we get more advantage while going through the spiritual path?
See, working on both fronts is always advised. I mean, we have to try to make a balance between the two approaches. We have to. But one should not spend too much time in making too much money by thinking if I have too much money, I'll have more access. I mean, that's not really true because we could be spending that time in chanting and doing other spiritual activities. And whatever money is going to come, it's going to come anyway. So I'm not saying don't do activities, material activities, but not overdo it. And even if I get more time with a spiritual person, spiritual leader, if I am very proud of my material position, I will not take the proper guidance. I will not take the proper instructions, or I'll not take the instructions properly. So then that's of no use either. See, right now we have the advantage of taking Prabhupada's teachings. So, like Prabhupada teachings are there everywhere. For that, we don't even need money. And who could be better leader than Srila Prabhupada? Nobody. So if you want to make progress, Prabhupada's teachings are there everywhere. In his books, in his lectures, and we can make progress.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for explaining.
Okay, thank you, brother. Hare Krishna. Any other
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, just a general comment. You were speaking about that Brahmin thing that they were given an opportunity. Rather, I feel that we all have been given an opportunity to get a better life than what we were in the last birth. So, because of which we are getting the association of, Prabhupada and Vaishnavas and everybody. So, definitely, we should make much use of this opportunity and try to improve ourselves.
True, but I think the sentence that Prabhupada wrote about Brahmins is for those who were born in Brahmin family, but then they pose off as I'm a big Brahmin. You all should worship me. You all should take instructions from me and follow me. But they don't have Brahminical qualities at all. I mean, the devotees who were born in Brahmin families, but now they're devotees, they're all Vaishnavas. They have nothing to fear about all this. They're above all this. Just like the scriptures talk about ladies also, right? There's so many different quotes about the ladies. But in Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned that ladies, Shudras, Vaishyas, they all can make progress. So that doesn't mean that quotation is there for general. But those ladies who are already in the path of bhakti, the Vaishnavis, they're not in that category. They've already gone beyond this bodily level.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, then this quotation is not for devotees. It's for general Brahmanical families who are Brahmins by name only, not by work or quality.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
One doubt, kindly please clear it. It's about Shringi and Shramik. So I'm on the support of Shringi. It's because of the
Okay.
fact that, to be very, if we take it in a common sense, if somebody insults the father, because anyway, Kali Yuga, what it says about, yeah, Kali was on the, I think, the mukut of Parikshit, because Parikshit said that, yeah, you can go and stay in the gold, and that's why it came. And because of that influence, Parikshit was so arrogant and adamant, and he saw that the rishi was not giving him water, and he just put a snake, a dead snake, on the neck of the rishi. Isn't that an insult? And if, because Brahmins at that time were known for their curse, I mean, be it Durvasha rishi or anyone else. And I mean, what I heard also, it's like he was in that place somewhere, and Shringi heard from someone that Parikshit did this. So he was kind of said like how a king can do it to a rishi and all, and that's the reason he cursed. Okay, we all know that how was Durvasha rishi. He was like, any now and then he was cursing for any small things, right? So wouldn't we also support to some extent Shringi?
See, many points. First of all, in Bhagavatam, it is not mentioned that Kali entered the crown of the king Parikshit and he changed the mentality.
Uh-huh.
See, Bhagavatam says it was Krishna's arrangement. And secondly, Shringi, he was a Brahman. So Brahman had other qualities also of patience, tolerance. They were supposed to be in mode of goodness. Durvasa Rishi is an expansion of Shivji. So he has some special qualities. But also he gets in trouble also because of those qualities. But Shringi should have not just gone by the words of his friends. He should have gone himself to confirm what happened and not just uses Brahminical power to curse a king just by he heard something from somebody. And then on top of it, if Shringi was right, then why did Shamik Rishi is chastising him, and why is he saying you did wrong? Shamik Rishi is his father. He's also a Brahman.
True, Prabhuji.
So there are many things that go against Shringi. But we can all say, okay, Kali had to enter and Krishna also made use of Shringi in that way. Okay, that is one argument. But as an example, he shouldn't have done that. And if Krishna wanted to make Kali enter, let him decide how to let it enter. That's his headache, not mine.
Thank you, Prabhuji. One more, it's like my observation on this. It's like beforehand, when I was not into this, devotion of Lord Krishna and not into Krishna consciousness, I was hearing that okay, I'm from the Brahmin family and this and that, all those things.
Mhm.
But now I realize even a couple of things which I was trying to find out logically. The foreigners are involved now in the ISKCON, and they are the also what we call it, the Vyas kind of people
Mhm.
who are on the Vyas Pita and preach, right? So, and Saraswati Mataji just talked about it, that anybody can get that Krishna consciousness irrespective of their caste or religion. That's very true, and I logically believe in it, because I don't know in the past. In my earlier birth, I was whether a Brahmin or a Shudra or whatever I was. Maybe I did something good, I become this. But then if I do something wrong in this life, then again I become something else.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So this is all temporary.
it's all temporary. So, but we take it for granted in the current life that yeah we are, and we get adamant and arrogant that okay we are from some upper caste and all those things. These all, it's nothing at all.
No,
It just the best thing we'll do, the more devotion we'll show to Krishna, I think we'll
that's
place.
all. That's the ultimate thing to do.
Yes, probably.
And in fact, I'll end the class with a wonderful incident. Prabhupada had brought his disciples from West, and they were in Vrindavan. It was, I think, 1972. And these devotees, they were going around in Vrindavan, different temples, taking darshan. So they went to one temple, and the pujari over there, he told them that, oh, you all are doing wonderful service of Thakurji. So we'll pray to Thakurji that next life you will be born in Brahmin family in Vrindavan so that you can serve Krishna properly. So these devotees, they just didn't say anything. They came back and they told Prabhupada this thing. Prabhupada said, you should have told that pujari of a Goswami temple in Vrindavan that you are serving Thakurji very nicely, and may Krishna give you a birth in a Vaishnav family in America next life so you can preach like we are doing. So, so, so obviously, if we go by scriptures, a preacher, Krishna also says that one who is giving this message to others, he is most dear to me. So a preacher is most dear to Krishna than anybody else. Of course, those Goswamis in Vrindavan, they're wonderful. I mean, they've got this birth, it's a last birth. It's not like anybody can become and can take birth in a Goswami family in Vrindavan. But Prabhupada's point was that preacher he was putting preacher on a very high pedestal, which is according to scriptures, it is right. So as a preacher and as a member of Prabhupada's family, we are very fortunate that Prabhupada has given us this opportunity to take up the process and give it to others also at the same time.
Yeah, probably.
And anybody can do that. Just like all the devotees went to hear lecture of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. Of course, he's an American body, but wonderful, such an exalted Vaishnava he is. Radha Prabhu's Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Sankarshan Adhikari Maharaj. Wonderful, wonderful Vaishnava. Yeah, amazing devotees and amazing preachers.
Prabhuji, I don't know, means whenever I talk about Krishna conscious and ISKCON things, people ask me one question, that why most of the foreigners are at the head position in ISKCON. Then I just told that at the time when it took it was Prabhupada went America and he preached them. So at that time they took it seriously, and we were at the downfall stage. So here people were not able to. But can you answer me? What should be the answer of such questions?
Actually, it is not true. Only non-Indians are there. Of course, many Indian body are there who are in the leading roles, like Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Radha Govind Maharaj. There's so many, Loknath Maharaj. There's so many wonderful, and they're leading, managing, and doing everything. It just one thing that I have been in the West and I have been in India. One thing I can frankly admit, Americans are very good in management. They're very good in management. Indians are good in dealing with money matters. But Americans and Europeans in general, they're good in management, in leadership, that kind of position. So Krishna chooses, and whoever he finds proper, he let him come to that position. There's nothing wrong. We don't look at the body difference. We look at the sincerity and devotion and surrender of the soul. That is more important.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thanks a lot. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.